In the world of video games, certain names rise beyond the pixels, beyond the flashing lights and falling blocks, to become synonymous with mastery, humility, and inspiration. Among these names, Jonas Neubauer stands at the very top, forever remembered as one of the greatest Tetris players in history. His journey wasn't just about breaking world records or holding trophies. It was about passion, dedication, community, and the joy of playing a game that has captivated generations. This is the story of Jonas Neubauer's Tetris career, a highlight reel not only of his triumphs, but also of the legacy he left behind. When most people think of Tetris, they imagine a casual game on their phone, the Game Boy, or some retro console in their attic. For Jonas, however, Tetris was never just a pastime. It became an art form, a mental sport, and a lifelong pursuit of perfection. Born and raised in California, Jonas grew up during the golden age of gaming, when classic Nintendo cartridges were a treasure and gaming was a bonding experience for friends and families. Among all the games, Tetris called out to him the most. It wasn't flashy, it wasn't complicated, just falling blocks, cleared lines, and a rising challenge. Yet, in that simplicity, Jonas saw endless depth. By the mid-2000s, competitive gaming was beginning to take root around the world, though it was still in its early stages compared to today. While fighting games and first-person shooters were gaining popularity, a new community of classic gaming enthusiasts began forming around old-school titles. For Jonas, this was an opportunity not just to enjoy the game he loved, but to measure himself against the best in the world. His natural talent with Tetris, coupled with his steady nerves and razor-sharp focus, quickly made him stand out. Soon, whispers began circulating in gaming forums and retro communities. There was a player named Jonas who seemed to be on another level entirely. The first major platform for Jonas to showcase his skills came with the Classic Tetris World Championship, CTWC. The CTWC began in 2010 as an idea by gaming enthusiasts who wanted to celebrate one of the most iconic games ever created. Nobody could have guessed that this tournament would ignite a global phenomenon, and at its heart would be Jonas Neubauer. In that first year, competitors from around the world gathered in Los Angeles, bringing their controllers, their nerves, and their dreams. Jonas walked into that event with determination, calm confidence, and a love for the game that shone through in every match. When the dust settled, Jonas had emerged victorious, winning the very first CTWC title in history. Winning once might have been enough for some players, but Jonas wasn't satisfied with just a single crown. For him, every competition was an opportunity to push the boundaries of what was possible. In the years that followed, he became a legend on the CTWC stage. He didn't just win once or twice. He won 7 CTWC championships between 2010 and 2017. Each victory was a testament to his skill, his dedication, and his incredible ability to stay composed under pressure. Watching Jonas play was like watching a master painter at work. Every placement of a piece seemed effortless, every line clear was deliberate, and his reactions were humble, often marked by a smile and a nod rather than boastful celebration. One of Jonas's most iconic moments came in the 2016 CTWC final against Jeff Moore. The match was tense, the crowd electrified, and the stakes as high as they could get. Both players traded blows back and forth, clearing lines, building stacks, and chasing the ever-elusive long bar for the perfect Tetris. When Jonas finally clinched the victory, the room erupted in cheers. It wasn't just about another trophy for him, it was about the love of competition, the respect for his opponent, and the joy of pushing Tetris to its limits. That moment, like so many in his career, showcased his sportsmanship just as much as his skill. What made Jonas special wasn't only his gameplay. It was his personality, his humility, and his ability to bring people together. In an era where competitive gaming could sometimes feel cutthroat, Jonas stood out as a figure of kindness and encouragement. He was always willing to share strategies, tips, and motivation with younger players who were just entering the competitive scene. He wasn't protective of his knowledge. Instead, he wanted the community to grow, for new champions to rise, and for Tetris to continue evolving. Many players who later went on to become stars in their own right often pointed back to Jonas as a mentor, a role model, and a friend. Of course, no story of Jonas's career would be complete without mentioning the rise of Joseph Saley, the young prodigy who dethroned Jonas at the 2018 CTWC. Joseph, only 16 years old at the time, shocked the world by defeating the 7-time champion. For some players, such a loss might have been devastating. But Jonas handled it with grace and dignity. Instead of bitterness, he responded with admiration and encouragement for Joseph. He stood by him during interviews, applauded his achievement, and welcomed him into the spotlight. This moment exemplified everything Jonas stood for: the idea that competition wasn't about tearing others down, but about lifting each other up, celebrating excellence, and embracing the growth of the game. Outside of tournaments, Jonas's presence extended into streaming platforms, live events, and social media. He became a beloved figure in the Tetris community, not just because of his records, but because of his warmth. His streams were full of humor, positivity, and insight into the mind of a champion. Fans tuned in not only to watch him play but also to hear his commentary, his jokes, and his down-to-earth approach to life. He made everyone feel like they were part of the journey, whether they were seasoned Tetris players or casual fans discovering the game for the first time. Jonas also played a major role in helping Tetris gain mainstream recognition as a competitive sport. Through documentaries, interviews, and viral highlight reels, his matches became legendary on YouTube and other platforms. Clips of his incredible plays, such as clutching out near-impossible comebacks or maintaining perfect composure in the face of chaos, spread across the internet. For many people, their first introduction to competitive Tetris was through Jonas. He was the face of the game, the ambassador who brought it from niche corners of retro gaming into the wider spotlight of esports culture. Yet, behind all the trophies and fame, Jonas remained a humble man who never let success change his character. He valued friendship, laughter, and the simple joy of playing. His wife, Heather, often appeared alongside him at events, supporting him through every victory and loss. Together, they embodied the spirit of community and togetherness that made the Tetris world feel like a family. For Jonas, the game wasn't just about chasing records. It was about connection, about the shared excitement when a Tetris drops, and about the collective cheer of a crowd when an incredible match unfolded. The highlight reel of Jonas's career isn't just about the 7 championships or the countless records he set. It's about the stories, the little moments that revealed who he was as a person. It's about the time he taught a younger competitor a technique backstage before facing him in the finals. It's about the smile he gave after a heartbreaking loss, knowing that the community had still grown stronger.